Today, we're heading out on a really special drive. This is the Keppetigala Road, and we're going via Keppetigala. Now, this isn't the fastest way to get there, but trust me, it's definitely one of the most beautiful. As we go, you'll see peaceful, winding roads, amazing mountains, and these beautiful rubber plantations. It's the kind of place where you can just forget everything and let your mind relax with nature. So, even though this road takes a little longer than the main route, the journey is worth every minute. If you're ever in the Kandy area, I really suggest you try this route at least once. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly what I mean. So, go ahead and get comfortable. Let's enjoy this calm drive together. Hey, you know, driving on this peaceful road, it makes you think. We've been talking a lot about the mind, and I was just thinking about emotions. It's funny, right? Our emotions can change so fast. One text, one comment, one rude tone, and suddenly our whole mood shifts. That's not just stress. That's our emotions taking the wheel. And when they're in charge, we end up saying and doing things we really regret later. This isn't about ignoring how we feel. It's about being in control of those feelings. It's about learning to pause, even in the middle of a storm, and still choosing our next move with a clear mind. When you stop reacting to every single thing, you save your own energy. You stay calm and you stay clear. Life is going to throw stuff at you. A rude look, a crazy message, someone being disrespectful. You can feel your chest tighten. Your hands want to type out a response right away. But here's the thing. Feeling that urge doesn't mean you have to act on it. The real power is in that tiny space between what you feel and what you do. The strongest people know how to pause in that space. Most of us just react on impulse because we've been taught to defend ourselves or fight back. But emotions are just signals, not facts. You don't have to answer every insult or defend against every criticism. Every time you resist reacting, you get a little stronger. Try it with something small. If a car cuts you off or someone says something rude online, just notice the feeling, but don't act on it. Just sit with it for a second, breathe, and then choose how you want to respond. That's what self-control is. Exploding is easy. Staying calm is a different kind of strength, and it builds confidence and helps you think more clearly. People respect you more when they see you don't react to everything. You'll walk away with dignity instead of regret. It's not about winning every argument. It's about keeping your own peace. The urge will come, but so will your power to pause. And in that pause, your life changes. Not everyone is going to see you clearly. Some people will judge you, twist your words, or just assume the worst. You'll feel that urge to explain everything, but just pause for a moment. Ask yourself, is this reaction worth my peace? Most of the time, it's not. People are going to talk whether you defend yourself or not. They'll judge you and create their own stories no matter what you say. That's their business, not yours. Your job is to stay focused on your own life. There's a huge sense of freedom that comes from letting go of the need to be right in everyone's eyes. You don't have to be liked by everyone. You came here to grow, to live with purpose, and to be proud of who you are. That doesn't require you to correct every false idea people have about you. So when someone misunderstands you, just pause and breathe. Most of the time, silence is your strength. Moving on is your answer, and peace is your reward. Most people run from discomfort. They'll grab their phone, talk just to avoid silence, or distract themselves with food or bad habits. But real growth happens when you just sit with it. Tension isn't the enemy. It's a signal that something inside needs your attention. When you sit with tension, you're not giving in. You're just observing. You notice where it shows up in your body, you breathe, and you just stay present. The weird thing is, when you stop fighting it, it often just softens. Your mind gets clearer and you can see things more calmly. Running away from it just keeps you stuck in the same cycle. Sitting with it is how you break free. That's how real strength is built. Start small, just a few seconds when you feel that discomfort hit. Don't fight it. Don't rush to fix it. Just sit, breathe, and watch. You'll start to realize that your thoughts aren't always true. Your emotions will pass, and your body can handle more than you thought. This skill changes how you handle stress and tough conversations. You stop panicking and you start growing. You become that calm person in the room who everyone else looks to. There will be times when staying silent is the best way to protect yourself. When someone misunderstands you or pressures you to explain, remember, not every moment deserves your voice. Silence gives you space, and space gives you clarity. Rushing to explain yourself usually just makes things worse. You end up over-explaining, reacting from emotion, or saying things you don't even mean. That's not control, that's fear. When you value silence, you stop giving away your energy so easily. You stop chasing instant understanding. You don't let other people's opinions decide when you speak. Instead, you pause, think, and speak only when it really adds value. This doesn't mean you avoid hard conversations. It means you go into them with a calm mind, not out of desperation. It means respecting your own boundaries and not wasting words on situations that don't deserve them. Some people won't understand your silence. They might think you're being weak or avoiding them. But it's not weakness, it's wisdom. And the more you practice it, the lighter and more in control you'll feel. You can be misunderstood and still be peaceful. There's a small moment most people miss, when pride pushes you to speak just to protect your image. It happens when you feel judged or disrespected, and pride whispers to you, say something, prove yourself. But pride doesn't solve anything, it just defends. It cares more about looking good than about what's true. That's why arguments fueled by pride go nowhere. You might win the moment, but you lose your peace. The key is to catch that urge before it takes over. When you feel that rush, that tightness in your chest, the need to speak, just pause. Ask yourself, am I speaking to help or just to protect my ego? If it's pride, step back. Let silence do the work. Pride always wants the last word, but true strength is knowing you don't need it. The more you notice pride, the less power it has over you. You learn to value your peace over your ego, and that's what makes you stronger. Confidence doesn't need to shout. It doesn't need to correct every opinion or defend every single thing. Real strength is in the pause, in hearing pride rise up, but not giving it the microphone. Think about how many problems start with just one sentence that didn't need to be said. One reaction that was too fast. One response driven by ego instead of truth. Those moments cost way more than they give. But now you can see it. Now you can catch it. You don't have to explain yourself to everyone. You don't need to respond to every misunderstanding. Silence isn't weakness, it's wisdom. It means you choose your battles. You speak with purpose, not pressure. Here's the secret. There's always a small space between what you feel and what you do next. Most people miss it. They go straight from anger to reaction, or from fear to shutting down. But if you can pause in that space, even just for a few seconds, you take back control. That space is where discipline lives, where growth begins. It's where you stop creating lasting problems from temporary emotions. Without that pause, you're just at the mercy of your feelings. With it, you become steady, grounded, and someone people trust. This doesn't mean you suppress emotions. You feel them completely, the rush, the tight chest, the racing thoughts, but you don't let them decide your next move. You slow down, you breathe, you ask yourself, what's really going on here? Do I want to react or do I want to respond? Emotions are just information, not orders. You can feel deeply and still stay calm. That's what real strength is. Every time you hold that space before you react, you win. You protect your peace. You avoid regrets. You start leading your emotions instead of being led by them. And the more you practice it, the steadier you become. Steadiness is power. Transformation starts in that pause. It's that quiet space where nothing has happened yet, but everything can change. That's where you decide, do I repeat the same old reaction or do I build something better? It's not about being perfect, just about being aware. And the more you practice, the more freedom you feel. Freedom to act on your values, not your emotions. But there's one trap that steals that freedom: trying to control how other people treat you. It sounds reasonable, right? We all want respect and kindness, but you can't force anyone to act right. People treat you based on their own awareness, not yours. The harder you chase control over them, the more peace you lose. Your mood suddenly depends on a text or a tone of voice. That's not strength, that's giving away your power. Trying to control people is like trying to control the weather. You can prepare for it, but you can't make the sun shine just because you want it to. People will show you who they are. Believe them. If they're inconsistent, see it for what it is. If they're disrespectful, don't make excuses for them. Respect should never be something you have to endlessly earn. Emotional maturity is knowing their behavior says more about them than it does about you. They act from their own fears and insecurities. If you take everything personally, you'll spend your whole life changing yourself for people who don't even understand themselves. So stop chasing their approval. Stop bending your values to make them comfortable. If you have to constantly remind someone how to treat you, they're not your people. This doesn't mean you accept mistreatment. It means you change your focus. You stop trying to change them, and you start choosing you. You walk away from what drains you. You let silence speak where words no longer work. That's not weakness, that's self-respect. You don't control others. You control how close they get to your heart and who you allow in your space. When you stop trying to control other people, you finally gain control over yourself, over your emotions, your choices, and your peace. Some people don't want clarity, they want control. No matter how carefully you explain something, they'll twist your words, doubt your motives, or stick to their own version of the story. And every time you try to win their approval, you give away your peace. Not everyone deserves to know your why. Your job isn't to convince people who don't want to be convinced. Your job is to live with integrity and let your actions speak for themselves. If someone misunderstands you after you've been clear, that's on them. Silence is not weakness, it's a boundary. The people who truly care will listen to you with an open mind. They won't demand endless explanations. And those are the only people worth your energy. Everyone else? Just let them believe what they want. You don't need to shrink yourself just to be understood. The truth is, not every misunderstanding needs to be fixed. Sometimes, silence protects more than words ever could. The more you practice that restraint, the stronger you feel. You breathe easier, you trust yourself more, and you realize that peace doesn't come from being understood. It comes from no longer needing to explain yourself. When it's pointless to explain, don't. Protect your energy. Live your truth. Let silence carry your strength. Life is loud. Deadlines, messages, conflicts, demands, they all pull at you, piece by piece. If you're not careful, you'll spend so much energy on everything around you that there's nothing left for yourself. This is where discipline really matters. Not every situation deserves your full reaction. Not every conversation needs your full heart. Being present doesn't mean being pulled in every direction. It means staying grounded, choosing what deserves your energy, and letting go of the rest. One text, one tone of voice, one look. These things can only ruin your day if you give them the power to. Your energy is yours to protect. And when you choose where it goes, you stop being reactive. You stop being scattered. You start being steady. You can't pour yourself into every single fire. You can't chase peace by trying to please everyone. If you try to meet every demand, you don't just break all at once. You break slowly until exhaustion feels normal. Holding your energy isn't about being distant. It's about being wise. When your mind is tired, your decisions are weak. When your heart is drained, your patience shrinks. And if you live like that for too long, you forget who you are. Pay attention. Notice who leaves you feeling drained after every conversation. Notice the situations that scatter your focus. Then ask yourself, does this deserve my energy? Or do I need to protect myself right now? That's not selfish. That's being responsible. The tired, reactive version of you isn't helping anyone. The clear, rested, grounded version is. The world will tell you that giving everything is love. But that's not love. That's burnout. Real love starts with self-respect. And self-respect says, I can care deeply without losing myself. You're not a solution to every problem. You don't owe your attention to every voice. You're allowed to be still in a loud world. You're allowed to say no without guilt. You're allowed to choose peace over urgency. Boundaries don't push people away. They keep you whole. They remind you that your needs are valid, your rest is necessary, and your presence matters more when it isn't stretched too thin. Protect your energy like it's the most valuable thing you have, because it is. And when you do, you'll start to recognize yourself again. Not the frantic version trying to keep up, but the calm, clear, steady person who was always waiting underneath. Every morning you face a question. Who's in charge of my life today? Is it me or my emotions? Emotions are real, but they're not meant to lead. They're like waves. They rise, they fall, they pass. If you let them drive, you'll keep quitting when things get hard, saying words you don't mean, and making choices you regret. Leadership starts with you. It means you don't let fear pick your path. You don't let anger write your words. You don't let insecurity make your decisions. You pause. You breathe. You choose. That's not being cold. That's strength. That's maturity. Because feelings come and go, but the consequences of acting on them last. Every time you decide to stay steady, even when your emotions are screaming at you, you grow stronger. You build trust with yourself. You prove to yourself, I can feel deeply and still act wisely. The strongest people aren't the ones who feel the least. They're the ones who feel everything, but still stand firm. So lead yourself, not by suppressing emotions, but by guiding them. Not by waiting to feel ready, but by acting from your values. Not by controlling everything outside you, but by mastering what's within you. Because real freedom isn't when life is easy. Real freedom is when your emotions no longer run your life. And just like that, our journey comes to an end. Thank you so much for traveling with me, for listening, and for sharing this peaceful ride. I really hope our little conversation about finding clarity and calmness was as helpful for you as it was for me. If you enjoyed this video and want to join me on more journeys like this, please consider subscribing to the channel and hitting that like button. It truly gives me the courage to create more content and share these quiet moments with you. Plus, your likes help other people find these videos and maybe find a little peace in their own lives too. Until next time, take care and travel well.